evil turtle Mitch McConnell went on Sean Hannity's show, and they spoke about Trump's accomplishments, including getting all these judges approved. And McConnell was positively giddy, not only about getting all these far-right judges approved, but also about railroading the left when it was their turn to appoint judges. So, I mean, I hope everybody takes notes as they watch this, because there's a lesson in here. But take a look, and then we'll talk about it.
What have you learned over this time with the president now, almost 3 years, that maybe you didn't know?
Well, let me tell you what this book is about. This book is about the most long-lasting contribution that Donald Trump and Senate Republicans have made for the country. And that is putting young men and women who are strict constructionists, who believe the job of a judge is to follow the law, on the courts. We did our 50th Circuit Court judge just yesterday. Sean, to put that in perspective, Barack Obama did 55 circuit judges in 8 years. We've done 50 in 3 years, and we have at least a year left for sure. We're going to do more. 1/4 of the circuit judges. Remember, most cases don't make it to the Supreme Court. Most complex litigation never makes it beyond the circuit courts. This has been the most long-lasting, important contribution the president could make well into the future, far beyond his tenure in office. So we'll have a judiciary more inclined not to make it up on the fly. You know, President Obama said he wanted to appoint judges who had empathy. Well, you know, that makes great sense if you're the litigant before the judge for whom the judge has empathy. Not so good if you aren't.
Let's talk about the issue has come up. Let's say somebody were to retire at the end of this year, leading into the summer. You have been very clear, if the president appointed somebody, you would follow through on that nomination.
Absolutely. We definitely would do that. And this paperback that we were just talking about, the president's foreword is about judges. My afterword catches up what's happened during the Trump administration on judges, because my memoir came out 3 years ago before the president was elected. What we've done here, the president and I together with this paperback that you've shown on the screen, is to talk about how the Judge Project came about, how it went forward. If you were to recall, Sean, the most important decision I've made in my entire political career was not to fill the Supreme Court vacancy when Justice Scalia passed away. That was the beginning, and now we've got an exclamation point here after 3 years that we thought the public would be interested in reading about, and that's why the president and I collaborated on this paperback.
I was shocked that former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions.
I'll tell you why. I was in charge of the of what we did the last 2 years of the Obama administration.
I will give you full credit for that. And by the way, take a bow. All right, that was a good line.
I was in charge of the. Of what we did the last 2 years of the Obama administration.
I will give you full credit for that. And by the way, take a bow. All right, that was a good line.
Yes, I obstructed everything done by the president who was duly elected in 2012. This is something I have a confession over this. I was big on for a long time, always just hypocrisy burning, saying, oh my God, you said you had this rule and then you violated this rule. Wow, what a hypocrite you are. But I was wrong for focusing on that at all, really. You want to know why? They know, and they just don't care. They don't care. You want to know why? Because it's more about the goals. So I'm hypocrisy burning when I should have been talking about the nature of power. And that Mitch McConnell, when he's in the opposition, will do literally anything and everything he possibly can to obstruct any little thing the Democrats want to do. And when he's not in the opposition, he's full steam ahead, all systems go. Any kind of rules he came up with when he was the opposition, throw him out. Irrelevant. He's no longer in the opposition. He doesn't care. He just told you right there. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember this. Some of you, maybe this was before you followed politics, but Merrick Garland was picked by the Obama administration to be a Supreme Court justice. He's a centrist, by the way. Super centrist. So it's bad that he picked him in the first place. He should have went left. But he picks this centrist, And Mitch McConnell responds by saying, "Oh no, we don't approve justices like within the year of an election." And it might have even been longer than that. I think it was an even longer amount of time that they blocked Merrick Garland. But he just made it up. He's like, no. Are you ridiculous? You're saying a year before the election we're going to approve your Supreme Court justice because there's a vacancy now because Scalia died? No. We're not doing that. I'm sorry, we're not doing that. No. Don't be ridiculous. We're not doing that. Actually, wait, did Scalia die and that was when they picked Merrick Garland or maybe somebody else? Anyway, or somebody might have retired. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Bottom line is, they were like, oh, no. We have a rule. A year before the election, we don't put a Supreme Court justice in power. Now, is that actually a rule? No, we just made it up. Well, now we're a year before the election, and Sean Hannity asks him, okay, so if somebody retires, or if Ginsburg passes away, really is a question that could have been asked. He's like, no, of course I'll approve the judge. What? What about your rule? He knows he did the rule. He doesn't care. He doesn't, because it's not about being consistent in his standards. It's about power, and it's about getting his goals accomplished. So in a weird, ruthless way, you have to give him credit for being a true Kool-Aid drinking, hardcore, neocon corporate goon, right-wing goon, and believing in it so much that he'll do anything to get those things implemented. Now, the Democrats are silly because they actually try to abide by the rules that they lay out for themselves when they're in the opposition, and they want to be more consistent. And it's like, you guys brought a water gun to a old style Western shootout. They got a revolver. You have a super soaker. Do you not see what's going on here? So they got played, man. And the point is, he's laughing about it. He's like, yeah, I obstructed every, judge they wanted to appoint, and I'm approving all of Trump's ones. How you like me now? Trump is already at the point where he's like, he's appointed as many as Obama has, and Obama was in office for 8 years. Trump's in his third year, and he's already almost caught Obama. They're roughly about the same with the number of judges that were appointed. It's asymmetrical power. The Republicans know how to play politics. And that's the lesson I hope everybody takes away, is that there are no rules to this stuff, man. Now, are the institutions going to reel you in from time to time? Of course. And that's good. It's good that we have checks and balances to some extent, and we have institutions. But make your own case. Don't shoot yourself in the kneecap. And don't, make it less likely that left-wing goals win out. And there used to be a time when the left understood this, like FDR. But that's not the case anymore. When the Democratic Party became very centrist, neoliberal, started taking corporate money, when it became the new Democratic Party, 1992 with Bill Clinton, now we make concessions to the right all the time, and we're much less likely to get lefty judges in power, and they're very likely to get far-right judges in power, and that's what's happening right now. And we're about to see a terrible era on the courts. Not just the Supreme Court, the entire federal court system. Because now you're going to see, we're going to have another Lochner era. Lochner is when it was an era where the Supreme Court ruled that employees have a right to contract with their employer, and whatever you agree to in that contract is gospel, and the federal government can't step in and say, whoa, now, come on now. We need labor laws. We can't have you working too many hours every week. That's insane. You're going to work yourself to death. We need labor laws. We need child labor laws. We need minimum wage law. There was a time when the Supreme Court said, all that's unconstitutional because you have a right to contract with your employer. So, and always what would happen is the employer has all the power. They rig the contracts in their favor, make them incredibly biased against the workers, and the workers have no choice. And if you have a problem with it, they say, okay, leave, go find another job. But don't appeal to the better nature of your lawmakers to pass labor laws. Don't appeal to them to pass minimum wage laws or whatever. No, that's all unconstitutional. That's what the Supreme Court ruled for one era. And now we're slowly sliding back into that, and you have Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, and the right wing to thank, and a weak Democratic Party for not fighting back as well.